hello there. Let's keep your week rolling with just the right mix of news and conversation. Whether you're catching us online or watching us on TV, hop on, join the chat. I'm Paolo de Rosario.
Hello there, beautiful people. I'm Asis-Carilo. Here's your daily dose of deep dives and good vibes. Welcome to
Beautiful Day! All right, so we have another rainy day here today. Okay, yung
Yeah,
background
look at our
natin,
background.
Muulan eh.
Ayan, umulan.
Naka-raincoat din ako eh.
Yeah.
Well, rain.
Ay, oo, hindi ako
Oo.
nasabihan. Wait, can I have a payong?
Pwede
Nakapayong sa
naman,
loob
oo.
ng house.
At least, you know, the
Props.
funny thing is, I know you're gonna say payong, pero kung nandito yung former friend natin, si
Ah.
Mo, hingi siya ng rubber boat eh.
Rubber boat.
Rubber boat,
Ay,
bigla
hindi siya pumapayag na rubber.
Hindi siya pumapayag na
Yeah.
rubber, but then hindi niya alam na itong mga boats dito, rubber boat talaga. But, now it's raining. It's raining
Yes.
quite a bit. Tabuti na yung guest natin di kumakanta, sumasayaw.
Yeah.
Oo, kasi baka lumakas yung bagyo.
And you know, I'm excited to talk to our guest today, who is in New York, if I'm not mistaken. But I'm excited because it's a different kind of dance.
Yes.
She's very young. She's 19 years old. And usually, yung mga kabataan, they choose hip-hop, diba? Like pop kind of dance
Yeah.
or genre. But this one is a different kind of dance na I didn't even know that there was something like that.
You didn't know this existed?
No.
So, it's an Irish dance,
Yeah,
right?
Irish dance,
You know
yeah.
Lord of the Flies, ganun?
No.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Lord of the Dance, rather. Lord of the Flies, libro yun. Lord of the Dance. So, I don't know. That's the most, I think, one of the more famous ones of the Irish dancing. So, it's a type of dancing that is very rhythmic. It's very rhythmic. It's very...
Oh.
It's like tap in some ways because
Okay.
of all the
Tap
bits of
dancing, I
sounds.
know, yes.
Yeah, it's sort of like it, and it's very distinct.
Oh, sasabihin ko
At
sana, sample
napakahirap.
nga pa.
Hindi ko kaya. Wala yung sapatos para dun eh. But of course, her name's Emma Jose. We'll have her on
Yes.
later on in the show. Then of course, later on Weather HQ, we have something really important because we're talking to the team who is working with Project NOAA to find out more about yung flood situation dito sa Metro Manila. Kasi grabe talaga yung baha in Metro Manila in certain places.
Yes.
Some areas have better drainage compared to others. So we are seeing siguro yung differences between LGU to LGU
Yeah.
of how they deal with yung mga disaster relief efforts and of course yung flood mitigation na
That's
kailangan
right.
gawin.
And for hot takes later on, we're going to be talking about a very controversial post from the DILG. And netizens have been throwing their comments
Oh,
and
yeah.
everything, right? Because there is a time and place for everything.
And of course,
for humor.
Of course, we have to put into context rin kasi the DILG or rather si John Victormulia in particular actually has history of trying to be humorous when it comes
Yes.
to class suspensions,
Yes.
especially in Cavite. But of course, we'll discuss that later on. And if you are joining us online or on TV, wherever you are, remember join in the chat, sa YouTube, sa Facebook. And it's just watching all the comments fly by.
I
Kung meron man.
know. Yes,
Oo.
please post your comments. And if you want to chime in on our conversation for hot takes later, if you want to, tell us what you think about our topic later on, go ahead and type away on Facebook and YouTube. We are live. And also, if they have like emergency situations, then they can also post them there and we can read them on air.
Yes, of course. And we are also still looking for a sponsor, by the way, for our hot take segment because gusto ni Ann na maging
Hot
cakes.
cakes.
So, sa mga nagbebenta
I
doon ng
always
mga
say-
pancake, okay?
Perfect yan for all the restaurants that offer
Yes.
hot cakes for breakfast.
Oo, mga hot
Right?
cake, mga
So,
pancake.
Yes,
Isn't that
we're open for sponsorship.
the hot take sponsored by X-Hot Cakes, diba? So, why not? Pwede yan.
I always call it hot cakes.
Of course. Tapos kaming bahala sa syrup and all of that.
Yes,
But
that's
then,
right.
Yes, so again, we're umaga. we all want our hotcakes.
Malay mo, our viewers are having hotcakes right now
Of
while they're
course.
watching.
Of course. And we want our crew here to have hotcakes also.
Yeah.
Eileen
So
especially.
hotcakes for everyone.
Oh,
Yay!
yay. All right. So, of course, let's see
But
whether or
yes.
not kung nag-order tayo ng hotcakes, darating ba dito on time? Because we have the traffic check here.
Yeah, let's deliver the news. First up, the situation in major roads at this hour. Here is what's happening along EDSA Quezon Avenue flyover. Left side, our vehicles going to Quiapo, we're seeing light traffic on that stretch. Right side, same situation. Vehicles going to Quezon Memorial Circle, light traffic there as well. Now this time, we are taking a look at EDSA Orense in Makati. Left side of your screens, you're seeing vehicles heading to Pasay City. Light traffic on that side. Opposite lane, everything green and go. Those are the vehicles heading to Shaw Boulevard. Now heads up to motorists. The expanded vehicle number coding scheme is suspended today due to the inclement weather. This is a reminder to drive safe and remain alert on the road. Let's go find out what the weather will be like this Wednesday. Paolo has today's forecast from Weather HQ. Take it away, Paolo.
Thank you so much, Anne. As of 3 a.m. today, the center of the tropical depression Dante was located 905 kilometers east of extreme northern Luzon. Now, it packs sustained winds of up to 55 kilometers per hour near the center, with gusts up to 70 kilometers per hour. Now, it is moving northwestward at 25 kilometers per hour. Now, Pag-asa says Dante has a low chance of making landfall in the country, as it is expected to move generally north-northwest in the next few hours. Meanwhile, another weather system is being monitored as a low-pressure area inside the PAR, currently located in the coastal waters of Calayan Island in Cagayan. Now, this LPA has a high chance of developing into a tropical cyclone within the next 24 hours. Now, if it does intensify into a tropical cyclone while inside the PAR, it will be named Tropical Depression Emong. Once it becomes tropical cyclone, Pag-asa may raise the tropical cyclone wind signals in parts of northern Luzon due to its proximity to land. Now, based on Pag-asa's latest tracking, the LPA is expected to move through the Balintang Channel and approach the coastal waters of the Ilocos region, then curve back towards a northeastern direction. Now, even if it's just an LPA, it is already bringing moderate to heavy rains over to the Ilocos provinces and Cagayan Valley and parts of the Cordillera Administrative Region. Now, both Tropical Depression Dante and the LPA are enhancing the southwest monsoon or the habagat. Now, that is triggering rainfall all across the central and southern Luzon, as well as Visayas and Mindanao. Now, for today, heavy monsoon rains are expected in the following areas: Benguet, Pangasinan, Metro Manila, Tarlac, Pampanga, Bulacan, Zambales, Bataan, Cavite, Laguna, Batangas, Rizal, and Occidental Mindoro. Now, occasional rains are also likely in other parts of Mimaropa, La Union, Nueva Ecija, Quezon, Camarines Sur, Catanduanes, Albay, Sorsogon, Masbate, Antique, Iloilo, Guimaras, and Negros Occidental. Now, the rest of Luzon and the Visayas will be mostly cloudy with chances of scattered rain showers. Over in Mindanao, isolated thunderstorms remain possible in several areas. Expect a rainy day ahead, so please stay safe and monitor weather updates and take the necessary precautions. Now, apart from these three weather systems currently affecting the country, Pag-asa is also monitoring a low-pressure area located outside the Philippine Area of Responsibility. Now, this LPA was last spotted around 2,525 kilometers east of eastern Visayas, still far from the Philippine landmass, and for now has a low chance of entering the PAR. However, it does have a medium chance of developing into a tropical cyclone, and changes in its movement remain possible. We'll continue to monitor this weather system in particular, and we'll bring you updates as they come in. Now, here's our heavy rainfall outlook due to the southwest monsoon. Today, moderate to heavy rains are expected in La Union, Nueva Vizcaya, Ifugao, Mountain Province, Nueva Ecija, Quezon, Oriental Mindoro, Palawan, Marinduque, Romblon, Masbate, Sorsogon, Albay, Camarines Sur, Catanduanes, Antique, and Iloilo. Heavy to intense rains are likely to continue in Pangasinan, Benguet, Tarlac, Pampanga, Bulacan, Metro Manila, Cavite, Batangas, Laguna, and Rizal. Torrential rains are also expected in Zambales, Bataan, Occidental Mindoro. Heavy rainfall is also expected today due to the low-pressure area in northern Luzon. Moderate to heavy rains are also expected in Cagayan, Apayao, Ilocos Norte, Ilocos Sur, Abra, and Kalinga. Due to widespread rains, flooding is possible in low-lying areas, and landslides may occur in mountainous regions. The public is strongly advised to stay alert for local weather bulletins and emergency announcements. Now, southwest monsoon also continues to bring strong to gale force gusts over many parts of the country, particularly in coastal and upland areas. For today, strong winds may be felt in Batanes, Babuyan Island, the Ilocos region, Zambales, Bataan, Bulacan, Aurora, Metro Manila, Calabarzon, the Bicol region, Mimaropa, Visayas, Zamboanga del Norte, Misamis Occidental, Lanao del Norte, Camiguin, Dinagat Islands, Davao Occidental, and Davao Oriental. By tomorrow, the strong monsoon winds will persist in the Ilocos region, Abra, Benguet, Central Luzon, Metro Manila, Calabarzon, Bicol region, Mimaropa, Visayas, Zamboanga del Norte, Misamis Occidental, Lanao del Norte, Camiguin, and Davao Occidental, as well as Davao Oriental. And on Friday, July 25, strong to near gale force winds may affect the Ilocos region, the Cordillera Administrative Region, Cagayan, Isabela, Quirino, Nueva Vizcaya, Central Luzon, Metro Manila, the Bicol region, Mimaropa, Visayas, Zamboanga del Norte, Misamis Occidental, Lanao del Norte, Camiguin, Davao Occidental, and Davao Oriental. Residents in affected areas, especially those in coastal and mountainous locations, are advised to secure lightweight objects that may be blown by the wind, avoid outdoor activities, especially in open seas, and be vigilant for falling debris, loose roofs, and power interruptions. Now, despite all of this, there is no gale warning in effect as of today. However, moderate to rough sea conditions are being experienced along the northern and western sections of Luzon. Now, this is due to the LPA and the southwest monsoon. Now, small sea craft are advised to take extra precaution when venturing out to sea in these areas. Moderate sea conditions are also expected across the rest of Luzon and along the eastern section of Visayas. Meanwhile, light to moderate seas will prevail over the rest of the country. Stay updated on local marine bulletins, especially if you're heading out to fish or travel by sea. Well, that is it for Weather HQ at the moment. And back to you.
Thank you so much, Pao. More of our headlines this morning. The impact of Typhoon Krising continues to rise. In the latest update this morning from the presidential office, Krising has dealt over 4 billion pesos worth of damage to infrastructure, along with more than 134 million pesos of damage to the agriculture sector. Almost 490,000 families have been affected, with current casualty reports at 6 fatalities, with 5 more injured and 8 people missing. The main cause of death being flooding, which is affecting more than 1,800 areas.
The recent flooding caused by Krising has many Filipinos asking why Metro Manila is always flooding. Veteran urban planner Felino Palafox gave a simple answer on BNC's agenda, citing the lack of action from various government administrations since the 1970s.
After Ondoy, I was in Dubai, tinawagan ako ni Darius Bondok. Some people were blaming God for the floods. And I said, it's not an act of God, but sin of omission and of men and women running our country. Because the solutions are there, hindi pa natutupad.
Palafox says since the 70s, almost all proposals for major flood control projects just haven't been implemented, even though the catastrophic flooding and infrastructure damage seen today was entirely foreseen. He says the reason behind this is that rehabilitation is more profitable than prevention.
Mayor Magalong of Baguio said on record, corruption and infrastructure is as high as 70%. And I asked, how come walang pork barrel sa prevention? And sinagot sa akin, Palafox, you were not born yesterday. State of calamity, wala nang bidding-bidding. Mas malaking kikitain sa rehabilitation.
Really interesting when you take a look at the takes that he gave, Mr. Palafox. And of course, a lot of people are wondering, because there's so many projects being done year in, year out about the
and the budget that they
infrastructure.
allot for flood control
Yeah, but I
is
think
worth billions of pesos.
yes, and they are being spent for sure. I mean, like we've seen so many projects lately. We've actually featured a lot of the projects, including the widening of the Marikina River.
Yeah.
Of course, different projects working with Japan through JICA, and of course, different other projects happening over the metro. But at the same time, syempre, some of these projects aren't as long term as some others in terms of the viewpoint. I mean,
Okay.
like the Marikina River widening is a bit more long term, but then since the 70s, I have to go through the list of the different infrastructure
Different
projects,
projects,
that
yeah.
might have been proposed, perhaps a bit short sighted. The term given was, if I'm not mistaken, rehabilitation is more profitable
Yeah,
than
that is what I wanted to
prevention.
understand. Is
Yeah.
there some form of corruption happening here? That is the reason why some projects are not being done?
I personally wouldn't know in terms of where the funds are used, but then in terms of priority, if it's
Yeah.
rehabilitation over prevention, that's the reason why I would argue that maybe the viewpoint hasn't been as long term
Yeah, yeah.
as much. Because when you say rehabilitation, it's more of rehashing
Yeah.
rather than prevention, wherein you invest the money in something more long
Long
term.
term,
Obviously, it
yeah.
takes longer and it includes more disruption, diba? So we'll see what other projects will work in
And
the future.
During the interview, Mr.
Yeah.
Palafox said that there are really a lot of factors contributing to the persistent flooding in our country every year. So there's infrastructure, poor urban planning, and there's also climate change.
Yeah.
So they're all adding to this problem.
Yeah, and don't forget solid waste management.
Yes.
I mean, like
Waste
especially
management as well.
in certain areas. I
That's
mean,
correct.
I think we've all seen the photos throughout this latest series of Habagat. It's not even necessarily Krising. This is the Habagat we're experiencing right now,
Yeah.
and nakita natin the photos coming from all over, from Manila, Quezon City, even in some areas wherein the waste, solid waste is
Grabe
on the
yung
streets.
basura on the streets.
Yeah. So I mean, like again, in some cities it might be isolated and some more
Yeah.
widespread. But solid waste management also an issue, and I think one of the reasons why it's a bit difficult to address kasi ang dami talagang problema
Yeah.
at the same time.
All right, moving on. Two bills are being pushed in the Senate: the creation of a Department of Disaster Resilience and the establishment of disaster food banks in every province. Senate President pro tempore Jinggoy Estrada says the new department will be the central agency for preparation, response, and recovery from calamities. The food banks will stock essential supplies like food, medicines, and lighting that can be distributed within hours of a disaster, especially in hard-to-reach and island communities. Meanwhile, Senator Bongo proposes tax-exempt hazard pay for frontline disaster response workers, while House lawmakers call for an investigation into the reclamation projects that may be worsening flooding in Metro Manila.
Now, Rizal is one of the areas hit by the Habagat. Now, let's check in with Hannah T live in San Mateo. Hannah, what's the situation out there?
Paolo, good morning. It's a devastating week for the family of a motorcyclist who lost his life here in Rizal. In Antipolo City, two men attempted to cross a river on a motorcycle in Barangay San Jose last June 21, and because of the strong current, the motorcycle stalled. The driver, identified only as Mike, and his passenger Raymond, who was 33, were forced to dismount and push, but the raging waters swept them away and residents only managed to pull Mike to safety. Raymond was rescued later and brought to a hospital but was declared dead on arrival. Another report from the Police Region 4A says another tragedy happened in Tanay Rizal, where they found a bloated body of an 11-year-old boy floating in Laguna Lake. His mother later identified him, and the child was last seen in Morong Town on July 19. Paolo, the weather remains unstable here in San Mateo. Although floodwaters have started to recede since yesterday, heavy clouds still loom the area. As of 8 p.m. last night, over 3,600 families are in evacuation centers across San Mateo. One of them is Mali Elementary School, where we spoke to Nanay Lolita, a mother of 7. She sells cooked meals to earn a living, but the floodwaters reached the rooftop, forcing her to stop. San Mateo is one of the country's leading producers of tinapa or milkfish and a major source of saba bananas. Those are the latest here in Rizal. Back to you, Paolo.
Thank you so much for that, Hannah. Hannah, just a few questions before we let you go. You mentioned the number of evacuees already in evacuation centers. How many evacuation centers have been activated? And of course, are there any orders yet on, or any news on whether or not those in the evacuation centers will be allowed to return to their homes?
Actually, Paolo, we talked to the Cainta LGU and also the San Mateo LGU officials. They said they don't have plans yet on letting the citizens return to their homes kasi nga as of this moment, Paolo, mabigat pa rin yung ulap, yung masama pa rin yung panahon dito sa Rizal. And so far, sa Cainta kahapon, we found out that there's an active 18 evacuation centers there. Samantala dito sa San Mateo, nasa around 15 din yung evacuation centers. At so far, wala pa tayong nare-receive na report on whether the evacuees have already returned to their homes. Paolo.
Hannah, kamusta yung situation there sa evacuation centers? Are the supplies enough? The evacuees, they have enough food, water?
Yes, and actually, the barangay captain said the supplies are more than enough actually dahil nga meron pang paparating na tropical depression na si Dante and also the low pressure area which was mentioned earlier. Sabi nila they're more than ready at ganito naman daw yung lagi nilang operation kahit sa mga nakaraang bagyo. Kung tutuusin since last year, na, kung matatandaan natin, merong 4 typhoons na sumalanta sa Pilipinas na sunod-sunod at inasahan din nila yon, in-expect din nila, and so far maayos daw yung sitwasyon ayon sa mga evacuees doon sa Mali Elementary School dito sa San Mateo, Rizal. And
Maraming salamat. That's Hannah T reporting live from San Mateo, Rizal. Stay safe and dry out there. Thank you so much.
Now, President Marcos has ordered government agencies to halt sauna preparations and instead prioritize relief efforts for those affected by heavy rains and flooding. The DOTR has initiated free rides for stranded commuters, while the DSWD opened 500 evacuation centers and distributed nearly 100,000 family food packs. Meanwhile, the MMDA is continuing its flood monitoring and clearing operations, while the Office of Civil Defense remains on red alert. So far, 15,000 soldiers, 5,000 Coast Guard personnel, and 800 PNP officers are on the ground to support rescue efforts. Now in world news, U.S. President Donald Trump announced a new 19% tariff rate for goods from the Philippines. This comes after what he called a beautiful visit by President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. to the White House. Trump had previously raised the threatened tariffs to the country from 17% to 20%. In the trade deal, the Philippines will pay 19% tariff, while the U.S. pays 0%. Trump on Truth Social hailed the agreement, saying that, in addition, the Philippines and United States will work together militarily. Trump said PBBM was a tough negotiator and sends regards to Filipinos.
Over in sports, a familiar face returns to LA as the Los Angeles Clippers officially welcome back 12-time All-Star Chris Paul. In what is to be Paul's 21st and potentially last season in the NBA, Paul is back with a franchise that saw him reach the postseason 6 times in just as many tries. Paul joins a veteran core for the Clippers, who are still led by Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, while adding firepower in the form of guard Bradley Beal, power forward John Collins, and center Brook Lopez. Paul spent the 2024-25 season with the San Antonio Spurs, where he normed 8 points and 7.4 assists. Now, results fell the way for the Philippines as they officially booked their spot in the ASEAN Under-23 Mandiri Cup for the very first time. Now, qualifications was out of the Filipino booters' hands, but a 2-1 win for Vietnam over Cambodia in Group B and a 0-0 draw between Thailand and Myanmar in Group C were just what they needed. The results mean the Philippines will take on Vietnam in a knockout semifinal on Friday, July 25.
Now, Pao, here's our tea this morning. First cup of tea. Pinoy Pride just got a taste of victory. Beloved Filipino fast food chain Jollibee has been named the best fast food fried chicken in the U.S.
Yes.
By USA Today 10 Best, beating
Yes.
out iconic chains like Popeyes and KFC. The recognition comes after a panel of quick service dining experts and readers cast their votes, putting Jollibee's Chicken Joy at the top. With nearly 100 locations across North America and over 1,700 worldwide, Jollibee is taking the global fast food scene by storm.
Yes.
Woo! Go Jollibee!
Yes.
Go Chicken Joy!
Yes.
Dapat may Chicken Joy tayo right now.
Filipino chicken, okay.
But it's amazing that in the US, it's number one.
We know our chicken.
Yeah.
We're so good with chicken. We obviously have Jollibee's Chicken Joy,
Yeah.
which is probably the most accessible because it's our fast food chain, right? But then, look, we just know our chicken. We know chicken inasal. All right? We know chicken inasal. We know chicken adobo.
We know our chicken
We know
very
chicken!
well. And you know, this shows that our consistency, the food, the quality of our food is consistent anywhere in the world. Diba
Yes.
kasi minsan, pag iba yung branch na sa ibang bansa, iba na rin yung quality.
What I love is when foreigners discover Chicken Joy for the first time and it blows their minds away.
Yeah.
And it's legit.
And I love watching reels like that when they bite into the chicken.
Of course.
And not just the chicken, ha? They also love yung palabok.
Yeah, they love the
and the
palabok.
other stuff in the menu. Pero it's so amazing that, our chicken is number one.
Our chicken is insane. Okay, the skin of
Pagutom,
Jollibee.
wait.
You slather it in gravy.
Yeah.
Minsan ginagawa natin soup yung gravy sa kanin
Sa
natin.
rice, yes.
Okay, it's just
And
chef's
that
kiss.
sound when you
Chef's-
bite into it, when your teeth digs into that crispy skin.
Spicy pa. Gusto ko yung spicy.
Spicy, the
Chef's
spicy.
kiss. But
We're gonna have chicken
yes,
later on after
chicken in
the
the
show.
also.
Yeah.
I mean, like, we gotta pay tribute to
Lahat, lechon
all
manok.
the chicken. Lechon manok.
Ano pa ba?
Look,
The other
Filipino
chicken.
chickens.
Chicken
Saludo ako sa inyo.
adobo. Pwede rin, right? Chicken
Oo.
adobo, all kinds of chicken. We're
Ah.
gonna have that after the
So
show.
good.
But now, our second cup of tea is a little bit somber.
Okay.
Black
Yeah.
Sabbath frontman and godfather of heavy metal, Ozzy Osbourne, has passed away. His passing was announced by his family on his official Twitter account, which was followed by tributes and messages of support from fans and other metal legends. Just 3 weeks ago, Osbourne was seen performing at Black Sabbath's Back to the Beginning show, which was billed as his last performance. The one-off gig united the band's original lineup for the first time in 20 years, with proceeds going to charity. So his farewell show was really his last.
Yeah, it was
Like
his last.
saying goodbye to the world, to
At
his fans.
least he got to.
Yeah.
Diba?
Yes.
I mean, like, not a lot of people can actually do a farewell and actually properly say goodbye
Yeah.
or, we see it, everything put together. Pero si Ozzy Osbourne, I have to admit, I'm not a big fan of the music. I'm not too familiar with it, to be quite honest. Pero what I enjoyed about Ozzy Osbourne is the fact that naging mainstream din siya eh,
Yeah.
to general pop culture. That people, even if you don't listen to Black Sabbath, know who Ozzy Osbourne
Yes,
is.
Prince of Darkness. And his
Yes.
final show, according to Billboard, is the highest grossing charity concert of all time. They were
Wow.
able to raise more than $190 million for 3 charities. So what a way to say goodbye.
Yeah, what a way
Right?
to sign off in general.
Yeah.
So, to all the fans of Black Sabbath out there, our commiserations to you and condolences as well. So, I mean, still a lot to be happy about when it comes to yung life at yung career niya.
Yeah, his music will live on.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So many
100%.
years after his passing. But up ahead, Pao, do you know what Irish dance is?
We established that I do and you don't.
I don't actually. So I need to be enlightened on this kind of dance. A story of a young Fil-Am girl making waves in Irish dance competition in the U.S. That's what we're having. After the break, we're going to talk to Emma Jose about this modern step dance and the leap that it took for her to bag the trophy. So stay tuned. Beautiful day. We'll be right back. and welcome back. You're still watching Beautiful Day. Pao, we have a Filipino-American who bagged the title in the North American Irish Dance Championship, where 4,000 contenders from all around the world, they flew into Maryland, USA earlier this July. So let's talk to this talented and young Fil-Am dancer in the Hangout. We are joined by Emma Jose, all the way from New York. Beautiful day, Emma. Hi, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Good evening. It's 7:30 something there in New York, yes?
Yes, it is.
Thank you so much for joining us. Now, you know what? I am so interested because usually young people, they choose a different kind of dance, a different genre. Usually here in the Philippines, it's usually hip hop or pop. But you, at 19, you are an Irish dance champion. That is amazing. So how did that journey begin for you? What sparked your passion? And can you tell us a little bit more about what Irish dance is?
Of course. So when I was about 4, I was already taking ballet and tap and hip hop.
4
and
years
a few friends
old, wow.
had decided to join. So I joined along with them. And 15 years later, I'm still here. And it is so incredible. And now with the title too, it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Irish dance, as it seems, would be originated from Ireland, and it contains both individual dancing, which is more of what I do, and group dancing as well. And it can be for social reasons, competitive reasons, performances. It is so fun. There are also 2 kinds of shoes. One is more like tap. It's more rhythmic. That's called the hard shoes. And then there's also the soft shoes, which is more balletic and jumps and leaps, all of those things. And it's been really exciting to be able to live out my dreams as an Irish dancer and to be able to see so many Filipino Irish dancers even in this community. So it's been awesome.
You know, you take a look at the Irish dance and just watching it, looking at it, you can see why there are so many people who are enthralled by it. The rhythm, the way that the movements all work out. You mentioned it's a bit like tap as well, and marrying that with ballet. But what in particular really hooked you when you were performing Irish dance? Like, what made you stick to it the most and really invest yourself in this?
I mean, I've loved it from the moment I put my first pair of shoes on. It's something that just allowed me to be creative and fun and jump around and have so much fun, like running around the stage or even in the classroom. It's been so awesome to be able to do that. And then now to be able to compete on big stages, the world stage, the national stage. It's been a dream come true. And especially doing it with my younger sister, Eliza, I've been able to explore how I do that with her and how I train and get to bond with her as well, which has really kept me in it all these years.
Oh, that's so sweet. Now her sister also does Irish dance.
Yeah.
So they're dancing together. You know, your aunt told us that you have been competing for years, right? And you go around the world competing, and this is the first time that you won the championship. So congratulations. Yes. Can you walk us through your training? How many hours do you train, and what are the classes like?
So that transition's been very different as I've entered my first year at college. But I've had so many years of training, going to class, and originally my classes were in New York City where I live. So it was an easy bus ride or an easy car ride, all of those things. And I would train maybe 3 to 5 days a week. But post-COVID, as I got older, I switched to a different dance school, which is much bigger and a little bit more. So I'm very fortunate to my parents for being able to drive me there every day. And I train 6 to 7 days a week in total. And then on top of that, I also cross-train and do a lot of running and cycling and all of that stuff. So it's definitely been a journey where I have to dedicate a lot, but it is so worth it to be able to travel the world with my entire family, to be able to go around the stage and dancing and having fun. I mean, I wouldn't trade it for anything.
You know, you mentioned 6 to 7 days a week of training. I'm sure it feels like 8 though. But when you take a look at your record here, if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong. In previous years, you finished 5th, 7th, and 4th place. Finally getting to the championship. Can you walk us through the moment when it was finally announced that you finally got to that pinnacle?
I mean, I still cannot believe it. Actually, I can, but it's one of those it is something that I prepared so much for, especially with my training this season and being able to work myself and push myself, not only physically, but also mentally to be prepared, be able to go through this routine seamlessly on the day. So when they called it out, it was just a dream. A lot of tears, just everything came together, and I was so proud of myself for the dancing I put on the floor, and I was so fortunate that the results went the way they did.
Aside from winning the top spot, let's talk about your favorite memory from that whole competition week.
That's a tough one. I would probably say the Parade of Champions, which is something I dreamed of since I was a little kid. And while you may think like a parade, you walk around, do all that. No, this is actually a whole nother dance routine that you do with all the other champions. And you go around this, everyone's announced, and all the people stay after their awards just to watch this and just to watch all the champions do a little routine together. And usually this is people from many different schools. So you get to come together and watch all these incredible dancers in different age groups do their routine, which is pretty awesome. And I was very fortunate that 5 of the champions from my day, including myself, were from my dance school. So I got to celebrate this moment with them.
It's incredible that you can go there with the people from your dance school as well. So, I mean, when we take a look at the work that you've done, and of course, what the work that you're going to do in the future, you mentioned there's a bit of transition. Of course, first year in college, it feels like everything changes in terms of the routine, in terms of the workload, the stress. I mean, at this point, though, I'm sure you're already looking forward. What does that look like for you in terms of your very young dance career?
So this was my first year, and it was definitely a transition. Even traveling alone to Scotland without my family, or going to all the international competitions by myself, or meeting with professors to make sure I'm not missing too much work. It's been a transition for sure, but I've been so lucky to have the support system that I have to be able to compete with my coaches, my family, even my friends at school, all supporting me and being able to help me through this. I'm very excited for what the next year holds, especially proving to myself that I didn't only do what I came to do, but I also pushed it forward. Mentally, I pushed myself forward. And I'm just so excited to apply that in the fall. And I even go to Scotland in October, so I have something coming up soon.
Very good.
So exciting.
Excited for you for that.
I'm so jealous of her energy. Like training for 6 to 7 days a week and then going around the world.
She's also 19. She
I
has,
know, and
she has the energy.
19. She's 19, and oh my goodness. Oh, to be a child again. Oh, to be a young person again. But let's talk about the school that you represent. How's the community of Filipinos there? You mentioned a while ago that the other Filipinos are also dancing Irish dance.
Yes. So when I was growing up, there's a documentary about Irish dance called Jig. And that was my dream documentary. And there's a dancer that they follow who ends up winning the world. And her name is Julia O'Rourke. And she's a Filipino-Irish dancer. So growing up, she was my idol. She's someone I dreamed of being. And when I switched to her dance school after COVID, I was so lucky to be able to train with her and see myself in her. And it's been really incredible. And then along with that, one of my really good friends, also a national champion from my dance school, he's also Filipino and Irish. So getting to do this whole thing with him, getting to explore our culture. We're planning a trip to Manila even. Who knows when, but it's been incredible to do this with them and be able to see myself in other people in this community.
I don't think a lot of people realize, at least here in the Philippines, just how important heritage is when it comes to living overseas, because it has a lot to do with identity, comfort even, and maybe seeing something in yourself that you see in other people. Just give us an idea here of how important that heritage is when you are working towards something and in terms of reaching the next level, which you want to do with your dance.
I mean, it's so important connecting myself to my culture, or even in the Irish culture, connecting myself to that as well, and seeing where this all fits into my life has been so great. And then especially getting to do this with my family and having all my cousins in the Philippines cheer me on, having all my cousins spread out everywhere, having everyone support me has been so amazing. And to kind of bring together people from all over to get them to know what Irish dance is and get to see me in this position has been so great.
You know, Emma, there's a joke here in the Philippines that once you find a measure of success, all of a sudden your relatives multiply. All of a sudden, you're going to have different titos and titas coming out
Yes.
of every nook and cranny.
All your relatives just suddenly appear. Biglang, oy, congratulations, Iha. And then they have all these banners. I feel like when you visit the Philippines, your family members here are going to be putting up banners for you with your photo and everything. That's how it is here. But we're talking about heritage. Are you curious to try other types of dance, maybe like Filipino traditional tinikling?
So I am definitely curious to try that. I did try a little bit of it at my middle school. We had a dance group and we did a different kind of dance every single semester.
Okay.
So I had advocated for that when I was younger, and she let us, and it was so fun to learn it. And I just thought it was so great to do that with other people and getting to learn about the culture as well. So I hope to come back to it someday.
Oh no, we gotta hook you up with the folk dance
Yes.
societies here, because yeah, we could help you out with that. But of course, when you take a look at the Filipino heritage, we just had a news item a while ago that we want to talk about because it was U.S. related. I think you heard it, but then Chicken Joy, Jollibee, #1 fried
Yes.
chicken in the States according to USA.
I was very
US
excited
Today,
to hear
yeah.
that.
I was so excited for that. I am flexing for all of the chickens here in the Philippines, but I don't know. Your dad actually sent us a message
You're a Chicken Joy
that you're
fan?
a fan as well.
I am. So I was vegetarian for a while, so I couldn't try Jollibee for a long time. But recently I came out of my vegetarianism and my uncle took me immediately to Jollibee.
Oh
So
no.
it lives up to the name.
Oh no. I can't believe Chicken Joy
And
got
that
her
really
out of
comes
it.
that comes after what do you call this? A reason to celebrate. Like everybody
yeah.
celebrates in places like that, and you order Chicken Joy, right?
Yeah,
and celebrate there in
100%.
Jollibee. But Emma, I'm curious. If you weren't dancing, where would we find you on a weekend? Are there other interests or hobbies?
Well, all of my competitions take place on the weekend, so
Okay.
So that's a work day.
that's how I spend it. But I love spending time with friends, going outside, exploring, all those things. And currently I'm working in a lab doing something I love. So I'm very excited to explore both my career as whatever I want to be. I think I want to be something with environmental stuff. So exploring,
Oh.
also being able to work and do my dance training,
Mm.
balancing both and hard, but also incredibly rewarding.
All right, so let's talk a bit about your hopes and dreams first.
You're working in
to
a
be
lab?
completely frank.
I got curious.
No, working in the lab, that means that she's working on her craft.
Ah, I see. Okay.
So, but when you talk, Emma, when you talk about what you want to do with your dance in the future, what's the goal for you? I know it's to compete and to win, and that's obviously a part of it. But then, where do you want this dancing to lead you in an ideal world?
Well, I think dance has given me so many life lessons and experience I couldn't imagine having any other way. So I've been very lucky to live that out as long as I can and to see where that takes me in the future. I've loved traveling, I've loved dancing everywhere, meeting so many new people. So that's definitely something I want to keep in my life together, whether it's teaching or continuing to dance, maybe even going on tour. I would love to keep dancing for as long as I can. And then even beyond that, dance never leaves you. This is a sport where even people who have retired, we are still so close, and I can always check in. And especially with social media, I've been able to do that as well. So as much as I'm like, oh, there may be a new adventure at some point, Irish dance never leaves you.
Out of curiosity, Emma, I know you're very young and it's the start of your career. But then, from a competition standpoint, typically around what age range do dancers in Irish dance peak? And of course, when do they start transitioning into more of a teaching role based on your experience working with all these people?
So the oldest age category is called the senior ladies, which I wouldn't consider 23 a senior lady, but 23 and over is considered the highest category.
Okay.
But usually around that senior lady category, or maybe around 25, 26 is when people really start to transition into that teaching role. But even the younger dancers, even someone like me, I've been so lucky that my coaches have allowed me to teach some classes or assist them in any way. So I get to see the next generation of Irish dancers, which is also really exciting to me.
If you could combine Irish dance with maybe another form of dance style, what would that mashup look like?
No, well, as an Irish dancer, I don't use my arms. So there would definitely be some component of arms that I would love to add in there. But what that would look like, I'm not sure.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, actually, I'd be really curious to see that. But of course, Emma, we're excited for you to come back to the Philippines. Well, actually, for the first time, for you to come back to the Philippines for the first time and discover dance here as well. Because I can guarantee you there are going to be a lot of
Yes.
Filipino folk dance groups who are going to be really interested. Is there any type of a piece of Philippine culture that you wish you could reconnect with more that perhaps you will look forward to when you go here to the Philippines?
Ooh, that's a really tough question. I mean, I don't know exactly what I'd say, but I would love to see all my Filipino ancestors over there and get to meet them, not just have all my titos and titas over Facebook, but that's a sense of community and just getting to meet everyone and exploring the Philippines.
You know what? I think we're going to enjoy you coming on over here. And of course, I think
I feel like she should come and visit and perform her dance here in the studio.
yeah, because she's never
us.
seen one. She's never seen one. I had to actually introduce Anne here to
Yeah,
a bit of
yeah.
Irish dance.
I had to Google and look at some videos,
Yeah.
and I was like, "Ooh, this is amazing!" It kind of looks like tap dancing, actually.
Yeah,
Yes.
in a way that it does. Emma, right now we are gonna wrap up in just a bit, but then we love asking our guests this as we end the interview, and that is very simply the show is called Beautiful Day. So Emma, what makes your day beautiful?
Oh, I love that question. I would say today my day was beautiful by this interview and getting to meet you guys, and also being able to explore my college campus and go for a nice walk this morning. It's been a really beautiful day here, nice and sunny. I heard it was a little rainy over there, but I'm so grateful for it to be sunny out here and just to enjoy my summer.
A little rainy is an understatement, Emma, but we really appreciate you, and we cannot wait to see you live in person. Thank you so much for joining us here.
So much.
Thank you, Emma Jose, North American Irish Dance 2025 champion. Thank you, Emma.
Thank you.
Anna is so good. Such a ray of sunshine.
Yes.
Emma. And hopefully, we do get her dancing some Philippine
I
folk.
would love for her to perform here live.
Oh, yeah.
I'd love to see it live.
I wanna actually see her learn in real time with some of our best folk dancers.
Folk dancers, yeah.
Just introduce her to some of the different folk dances that we have here. Because she, as great as Irish dance is, and I'm sure when we talk about yung heritage niya, I think she'll also feel more connected to yung pagka-Filipino niya.
Yeah.
With-
Sabi nga niya, she tried already tinikling. Yeah, so
I
she's
think,
curious
I think
about
at one
that.
point in our lives, we've all tried
Alam mo, I
tinikling.
feel like tinikling is making a comeback. Kasi I saw reels like it's being used like an exercise, like a form
Yeah,
of exercise now.
There's also the fear kasi, di ba? Kasi kung di mabilis yung paa mo, masasaktan ka.
Ayun na.
Like sa pak! Like you're done. You're done. Like I've actually seen
Na naipit?
I've been to a Filipino heritage night in the States.
Okay.
And then it would be Americans performing tinikling.
Okay.
And let's just say sometimes their feet aren't as fast as they should be. Okay, wala sila yung fear of, like, I feel ko yung reflexes natin was honed by, nag-iwas tayo ng mga tsinelas.
Mga tsinelas
diba?
from our lolas,
Oo,
yeah.
So, yung pag ganyan
So
natin.
that's why we're fast.
Oo, so I don't know. That's just my terrible theory. But anyway, of course, we got some more serious news when we come back, because when we return, Project NOAA Executive Director Dr. Mahar Lagmay joins us to break down the root causes, the role of urban planning, and the science that could help us avoid the next flood disaster. Don't go away. Beautiful day. We'll be right back. Welcome back. You're still watching Beautiful Day. This is Weather HQ. Now, in the past few days, large parts of Metro Manila have been swamped by heavy rains brought by the southwest monsoon, causing floods, stranding commuters, and slowing down the city. To help us understand why this keeps on happening, we are joined via Zoom by Project NOAA Executive Director Dr. Mahar Lagmay. He is here to explain the science behind Metro Manila's flooding problem, how urban development may be making things worse, and what can be done before the next storm hits. Good morning, Dr. Lagmay. It's a beautiful day.
Hello, good morning. Good morning.
Doc, let's start off first with Project NOAA. Para sa mga unfamiliar po sa Project NOAA, what does this platform do and how does that actually help Filipinos prepare for natural disasters, especially flooding?
Yeah, we have that website called Project NOAA. Well, it used to be called Project NOAA, but it's now part of the UP NOAA Center, which is the core component of the UP Resilience Institute. That website can be found at noaa.up.edu.ph. And the first page, you would see, it says there, know your hazards. So the idea there is before a severe weather event happens, people are already aware if their area is flood prone or not. The idea of showing these maps is actually about getting the people to find the safest place to go to in case Pag-asa or government like NDRMC, OCD announces that there's imminent danger. Mm-hmm. But the first step really is to find out whether that area that you live in or the school where your boy or daughter goes to or the office of your husband is a dangerous area or not. That awareness is very important. And the awareness also of the place where it is safer or the safest in that community is also important because you would like to know where to go in case there's danger. Mm-hmm. That's the idea behind Know Your Neighborhood. There are other features there such as landslide hazard maps as well as storm surge hazard maps. Hazards that are related to hydrometeorological hazards or in simple terms, severe weather. Mm-hmm.
Well, Doc, for those wondering, saan po nanggagaling yung data? Is it crowdsourced? Is it something that is an interagency effort in terms of gathering the appropriate data, gathering all of the numbers when it comes to the floods especially?
Yeah, the data or most of the data was generated by Project NOAA, which was funded by government to the tune of about 6.4 billion pesos. That was funded by Congress. And there were other projects, I think 21 projects underneath the program, which is called Project NOAA. One of them was the microsat, which eventually became the Philippine Space Agency. Now, there's a project there which involved the flying of planes that would create the detailed topography of the entire Philippines, on which we simulated hazard maps to generate high-resolution hazard maps where you can see detail up to the barangay level. Mm-hmm. And we did that for not just for floods, for landslides, and also for storm surges. And among other things, sensors were also deployed to give near real-time data. So it's really a product of a lot of things that we have worked on, that the Philippines has worked on over the past, I think, 12 years. And it's all displayed there in that website. So please visit it because there's a lot of information there.
Well, yes, so we're showing different clips of a while ago from Project NOAA if you visit the website. And of course, when we take a look at the flood maps that we're actually going to show in just a bit once we say Quezon City, for example, you can see there the different types of hazards there, including, if I'm not mistaken, there's also a legend key to show which spots are more flood prone compared to the others. So we go back to the almost age-old question dito sa Pilipinas, especially in Metro Manila, Doc. What are the most common causes for flooding, especially in the metro area, na na-observe po ninyo working with NOAA?
Okay, there are many causes of flooding or types of flooding, by the way. There's coastal flooding, there's flooding that occurs near rivers because of heavy rainfall or swelling of the rivers. And among other things, subsidence causes flooding as well. The main cause of flooding in Metro Manila is because of extreme rain. No, we have to have a lot of rain delivered over a short span of time for the floods to be able to accumulate or to be generated.
Yeah.
Now, rain is the most important, and it's a natural process. It's been happening ever since. Now, we have done so many things to aggravate the problem. Like, for example, we put concrete or pave the roads. When we pave the roads, there's lack of infiltration. Normally, the soil absorbs the water. We have put a lot of garbage in drainage channels. We have cut the trees, a lot of trees in the forests. Therefore, the mountains cannot absorb that much water anymore. And these are aggravating factors that make floods worse. And now, Metro Manila is an urban jungle full of concrete. Of course, the waterways that used to be the streams, the creeks, yung mga sapa na tinatawag sa Tagalog, the rivers, don't have that enough capacity compared to before. I'm not saying that they don't have capacity. They still have, they can still carry or convey water down to Manila Bay, but it has delayed the flow of water. And when there's delay, just like in traffic, they stay there or they pond, and that is called as a flood.
When you take, you mentioned that there is still capacity naturally, especially sa mga sapa, mga waterway, to funnel water away from the urban metro and of course to Manila Bay. But the question also is are there any interventions that actually have worked or have been effective that we've seen significant changes throughout the time the Project NOAA has been active that has actually contributed positively to our floodwater management?
Well, the effects of Project NOAA has not really been yet on the losses and damages inflicted by floods. The benefit of Project NOAA was more on the reduction of fatalities. So it's not just NOAA, it's a collective effort, but we believe based on counterfactual evidence that NOAA contributed a lot. Before, we used to have about 1,000 to 1,250 deaths on average per year. Since 2014, wherein there was a lot of activities and policies that were implemented, it was reduced, that number, from 1,000 above to 250 deaths per year. Now, if we look at the what do you call this? The loss and damages, it has remained the same, more or less 50 billion pesos a year on average.
Yeah.
And the reason for that is because you can move people, but you cannot move the settlements. You cannot move. That is more long-term, right? It does not happen overnight. It doesn't even happen over the span of 5 years. Considering the extent of the problem, it's difficult to do that. What I can say, though, in Metro Manila is that in Quezon City, the local government unit hired Project NOAA, or the University of the Philippines, to do the drainage master plan. And there were simulations that were made for the drainage flow and for the surface flow. They were combined, identifying the places where interventions could be best, including the detention basins, retention basins, the preservation of these big tracts of land like parks and wildlife, areas in UP that could act as temporary holding basins to be released, the water to be released after the rainfall event. Unfortunately, it takes time, right? For you to be able to create these pools, these detention basins underneath basketball courts. It takes time, the construction. So we just finished that drainage master plan, and hopefully it will reduce, not totally eradicate. but reduce. There were other recommendations such as settlements along floodplains. So it's not just Marikina River and Pasig River and San Juan River that is the problem, because there are so many other creeks and streams, as you can see from that image, and it's like branches of trees going everywhere, right? All of these creeks and streams swell as well. They can be overwhelmed, and when they get overwhelmed, it spills onto the floodplains. And those floodplains are also occupied by settlements, as you can see there. You can zoom it some more, please. You can zoom it some more, and you can see the settlements on top of floodplains. Those are the areas that are flooded. Now, streets, that's the normal condition of the river. You can see the blue line, but when you click on the flood during a heavy rainfall event, you see it swells and it encroaches on settlements. That is difficult to fix, right? Because how would you get all of those people out of those areas?
Doc, you mentioned
That's a long-term solution, and that's the same for roads. Whenever the roads intersect these creeks, the water would like to cross the road, but if it's too swollen and there's a road there, naturally the road would get flooded because it cannot pass underneath the road. When it's swollen, it must pass over the road to be able to cross the road.
Doc, you mentioned you're started working with Quezon City LGU when it comes to drainage and, of course, making your recommendations. Yes, it will take time. But when you take a look at the overall state ng drainage natin, would you say it's outdated, or how would you describe yung current state ng drainage dito sa Metro Manila? Of course, varying from different LGU.
That is also correct. The drainage size capacity is too low. The drainage system is not enough. We need to expand it to be able to accommodate the larger flood events. Remember that with climate change, those rare events that happen only once every 100 years happen now more frequently. Instead of once every 100 years, they happen now once every 10 years or once every 5 years. Remember, we had floods like Ondoy, which is a one every 180-year event. And then we had Habagat 2012. We had Habagat 2013. We had Habagat 2014. It made Marikina River swell and it flooded Metro Manila. We had Habagat in 2018. We had Ulysses in 2020. We had Habagat because of Karina last year. It made Marikina River swell as well. And all of these events happen more frequently now. And therefore, floods become more frequent as well. The old drainage system, which used to only accommodate smaller events most of the time, they are not enough now because we're experiencing more frequent, larger floods.
Doc Lagmay, I wish we had more time to discuss this because we can go on and on about yung drainage problems and, of course, flooding issues dito sa Metro Manila in particular. But that's all the time we have. Thank you so much for joining us and sharing your insights with us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, that is it for Weather HQ for the moment. And back to you.
Thank you, Pao. Now, DILG Secretary John Vic Remulla drew criticism online after attempting to inject humor into an official announcement about the suspension of work and classes due to heavy rains and flooding. In a Facebook post on the DILG's official Facebook page, Remulla began with, "Mga abangers, sarap ng bogchi ko. Sa kabusugan ay nakaidlip ng sandali." The post immediately drew angry reactions and negative comments. Actress Jessie Mendiola commented, "Is this supposed to be funny?" Another user chimed in, "Call me OA, but people are suffering. Some are losing homes and loved ones, and yet others act like everything's perfectly fine, as if nothing's happening. I hope we can be more mindful with our choice of words next time." A different user online also expressed frustration and wrote, "Sir, public service requires professionalism, compassion, and timely communication, especially during crises." The former Cavite governor was once known for giving class suspension announcements with humor, but has his shtick gotten old and out of place at a time when Filipinos get repeatedly battered by typhoons? Pao, I think it's time for some hot takes.
Alright, so ano hot take mo?
Netizens have been saying it's insensitive, it's inappropriate, the timing is wrong. Kasi humor can actually, grab the attention of netizens.
Yes.
It's humanizing, but at the same time, if the timing is wrong, if the timing is misjudged, it can always backfire.
Yeah, I think it's also because person in power siya.
Yeah.
That because John Vic Remulla comes into this with a lot of, well, there are a lot of people who are in need or in need of help, and of course the DILG
true.
in particular does have a role in making sure that the response is just right. But then of course again, this is still it's a tone that the DILG has had for a while. This is not new in the sense that this is how they talk. But then people are asking for a measure of restraint,
Right,
considering
yes.
that we are in the middle of
a crisis. Yeah,
in
yeah.
so many ways.
So if you are a public figure, I feel like you have to be a little bit more responsible. Whatever you post out there, just make sure that the timing is perfect.
Yeah.
It's okay to be humorous. Like si Vico Soto, like Mayor Vico is always funny. Like when he posts like replies to yung mga netizens na nagme-message sa kanya, humorous yung mga remarks niya. But you can see na yung tama yung timing niya.
It's funny because humor is also subjective. Eh.
Oo nga, you know what,
Humor
that's
super
true.
subjective.
Yeah.
Humor super subjective. Like you could offend certain people, but at the same time you can't please everyone,
That's true.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, like some people. I'm sure Secretary John McRemulla has his supporters who said that okay, that made me chuckle
Yeah.
at this time, right? So as much as I understand the insensitivity, or at least a lot of people who are against the insensitivity of the post, or yung feeling that insensitivity, for me, it is this isn't a problem as much
Yeah.
as compared to inaction. For me, if the action is there from whatever government official, whatever government organization, I think that this is not as big of as an issue, supposedly.
It shouldn't really
Yeah.
be an issue at all.
Yeah, kasi-
Siguro, some people just find it a little bit insensitive,
Off-putting, yeah.
offensive, inappropriate.
Yes, I
pero
agree.
hindi siya issue. Like what you
Yes.
said, if it was an inaction, then
Yeah.
yun ang magiging issue, right? Like him not doing his job, not posting early about class suspensions or whatnot. So
I mean, like
there.
we've just a few days ago, we talked about a government official who was not saying anything, and people would
Yeah.
rather hear from
Yeah, yes.
that person. So the question is right now, would you prefer na tahimik o hindi?
Actually, ako,
Diba?
mas gusto ko
Oo.
pa yung nagjo-joke siya, pero he's doing
We'll
his
see.
job.
Yeah, we'll see how that works
yes.
out. Now,
And
similarly,
he's present.
yes. Similarly, a content creator drew flack online for capitalizing on the impact of Typhoon Krising to promote a real estate messaging. In his now deleted post, Zach Alves wrote, quote, "In moments like this, doon mo masasabi worth it yung condo investment mo, ang daming binabaha, may tulo sa kisame, lumilipad yung bubong, pero pag high quality condo, in most cases, sara mo lang yung bintana mo, okay na, resume Netflix ulit." Now, the content creator has since apologized for his post, which netizens found insensitive.
It is insensitive.
Now,
That's my
this
take
is different.
on
Now,
that.
this is different.
This is totally different.
This is different.
Yeah.
I feel like, sorry.
This is
nagbebenta
wow,
ka eh.
flaunting your privileges. Yeah, nagbebenta siya. He's in real estate. And at the same time, it's just not right to be flaunting your privileges, 'di ba? Na you're safe, nasa condo ka, and then you're pointing out, oh, ang daming binabaha. Ang daming nagsasuffer.
Sabay, resume Netflix ulit.
Oh,
no?
resume Netflix ulit. It's kind of like, storming na, bumabaha na, ang daming nalunod, ang daming mga homeless now, that's our evacuation centers, and then you post, ooh, cuddle weather.
Yeah, I mean, like it's at the.
Diba?
I think also it's not just flaunting. It's the fact that some people don't have the choice. It's not as if people could, not everyone could afford condos as
Yeah,
well. Diba?
yeah, exactly.
So I mean, it's just one of those things that I feel that we talk about timing being the worst.
yeah,
Some people
yeah.
say that okay, kapag may crisis, that's and you turn that into an opportunity. It's different compared to turning it into a marketing strategy,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? Like if a business finds a way to take advantage of a sudden gap in terms of a need of addressing a need of a certain population, that's okay. Pero if you end up using it as a marketing opportunity when people are suffering,
Yeah.
that leaves a bad taste. I think it's completely different to what we saw a while ago from Secretary John Vic
he was trying to be funny.
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
trying to be funny.
Injecting a little humor into that announcement, which is, like what you said, is not new. Parang yun naman ang style
Yeah,
niya
yan yung
talaga.
style ng DILG
Yeah.
under Secretary Remulla. And of course, this one feels a bit off as we bring out
This one is just
the
really
post
off.
again from Zach Alves. Again, moments like this, doon mo masasabi na worth it yung condo investments mo. And
Even if
yeah.
if he wasn't in real estate, it would still come off as like flaunting talaga your advantages, your privileges, 'di ba? Parang medyo elitista ng a bit. So, ang question ko, how can influencers speak about advantages without sounding like that? Elitist.
Well, I think it's also the moment.
Oo, yung timing, right?
Siguro after the storm, they could talk about like, look, buti na lang that we had this space, this condo. But yeah, apart from that, it's a bit difficult talaga. Timing.
Yeah,
Timing
is
matters
the
a
key.
lot.
Yes. And guys, we've got more stories for you after the break, plus our horoscope of the day with Master Hans Kua. Beautiful day. We'll be right back. Don't go away. Hi there, and welcome back. You're still watching Beautiful Day. It's time for a vibe check. The internet is still not over the Pacquiao and Barrios fight, most especially about Pacman's wife, Jinky Pacquiao. We were talking about this
Yes.
the other day, right? Jinky's videos during the match are going viral on TikTok, raking up millions of views worldwide. Pinoy users online quip, panalo-panalo ka, Manny! She is just absolutely gorgeous. So on that day, she was wearing Louis Vuitton and Gucci, and she looked absolutely stunning. She stole the spotlight nga talaga.
Oh yeah, she did.
A total knockout.
I mean, like just looking at Jinky, I think a lot of people the joke was talo si Manny, panalo si Jinky. So or
Panalo pa rin
nagdraw-
si Manny with
nagdraw-
Jinky by
okay,
his
we can
side.
say nagdraw si Manny. Panalo si Jinky in general. But yeah, I think in many ways panalo rin si Manny. But yeah, I mean like what a like just seeing all the memes online. Grabe talaga si Jinky. It reminded me of the reaction of a lot of people. Maybe not the same crowd, pero it reminded me of the reaction of a lot of people when yung nanay ni Harper of sa
yeah.
NBA, the mom came up and then
His
everyone
mom is so
everyone was
beautiful.
focused on the mom
Oo.
and not si Harper, not the player who was drafted.
I was watching that also. I was like, wow, that's
Ang
his
ganda
mom?
naman. Yeah, diba? Tayo naman, oh, ang ganda ni Jinky. Right? Parang ganun rin yung same energy, different vibe. Pero Yeah, I mean, like, it's, hey, good for Manny. Good for Manny.
Yes.
Good for Jinky that the glow up is real for her.
The glow up is real.
Oo, sobra. And of course, also for the bling.
The bling,
The bling.
I know. You can just imagine how much that outfit was.
Oh,
Diba?
yeah.
Yung worth ng dress, the shoes, the jewelry, the bag. Oh my
Oh,
goodness.
it's insane. It's insane.
Nahiya tuloy ako sa jeans ko. Itatago ko nga muna.
Wala nakapo tayo.
Buti na lang. Now guys, eto na, pal. Let's find out if today is going to be our lucky day or not. From our resident energizer and feng shui master Hans Kua in our horoscope of the day. Take it away, Master Hans.
Good morning! Beautiful day with me, Bilyonaryo Feng Shui Master Hans Kua. Ito ang horoscope for today, Wednesday, July 23. Simulan natin sa mga Year of the Rat. Gamitin ang tamang diskarte, budget, bayad, ipon. Sa ganitong ayos, walang problema. Gray at 6. Kay Ox naman tayo, ikaw po ay ma-assign sa task na magpapakitang gilas ka. Grab this opportunity. Galingan mo ha! Yellow at 2. Kay Tiger naman tayo, kung ayaw kang ipakilala sa totoong mundo, baka hindi ka talaga part ng plano niya. Red at 5. Kay Rabbit naman tayo, huwag maging rebound ng taong galing sa hiwalayan. Bantayan ang sarili mong damdamin. White at 9. Drago naman tayo, kung lagi ka nga na pagkakamalang kaibigan lang sa harap ng iba, huwag mong ipaglaban ng ganun din. Gold at 3. Kay Snake naman tayo, magandang araw para magbalik tanaw sa expenses at ayusin na ang budgeting. Pink at 4. Ito naman! Care of the Horsey, hindi ka dapat plan B ng kahit sino. Umuulan man, huwag mong tanggapin ang lamig ng trato. Green at 1. Kay Ship naman tayo, kung sinabihan kanyang hindi kanya deserve, baka totoo nga, huwag pilitin yan. Blue at 7. Kay Monkey naman tayo, huwag mong ipagmalaki ang taong hindi ka kayang ipagmalaki. Purple at 6. Kay Rooster naman tayo, mag-invest sa knowledge. Mas matagal ang balik, pero siguradong may laman. Silver at 8. Kay Dog naman tayo, kung may binili kang hindi kailangan, huwag ulitin. Isulat sa never again list yan. Green at 5. At King of the Pig naman tayo, ang tunay na pagmamahal, hindi mo kailangan hilingin. Kusa itong binibigay. Pink at 4. Paalala lang, ito po'y patnubay lamang. Ang tunay na swerte ay nagsisimula sa pagiging totoo. Abangan araw-araw ang horoscope of the day. Dito lang po sa Beautiful Day with me, Master Hans Kua, your Bilyonaryo Feng Shui expert.
Thank you, as always, Master Hans Kua. So you heard that, pal. You shouldn't be anyone's plan B. You should always be plan A.
I don't think I am anyone's plan B.
You're not, I know.
To be-
Sabi lang ni Master Hans.
Oo. If I'm anyone's plan B,
There shouldn't even be a plan B.
it'll be a I don't know. What's a failed plan? I don't know. There's a witty way to go about it. I don't have the energy for that this morning.
You know
Oo.
what? We have a couple of our friends joining us on Facebook because we are there live. We have our two DJs from Mellow 94.7 BFM messaging us, Diane and Yen. Hi, guys. And Diane says, can you send us chicken also later here?
You can do that,
Diane.
Ann. You can do that.
Mag-chicken joy date na lang tayo later.
Oo. You can do
Or
that,
let's
Ann.
schedule a chicken joy date one of these days, you know. Kasi nga, it's really exciting. That's the #1 chicken in the US according to USA Today,
And
right?
dito sa Pilipinas talagang palaban talaga ang Chicken Joy. But then again, we'd like to say to everyone out there, do catch us online and we'll be online all the time, every time we're on the
that's
show.
right.
And she'll be able to read out your comments, talk to you guys, and of course, if you have anything to add to any of our hot takes or any of our discussions here or even our interviews.
Yes, just post away. We're on Facebook and on YouTube. We always see those messages. Even after the show, sometimes they catch the replays and they send their messages there. We can still see those messages and we can read them on air. So please do join us all the time. Your comments are always welcome. You know, sometimes they don't say anything. They just, send emojis.
Yeah, it's an emojis.
Yeah.
Pwede na yan.
Pwede
of course.
na yun.
Yeah.
We feel you already that you're joining
Yes,
us and we
do.
appreciate that.
Once again, if you like the show, our names are Paolo and Ann. If you do not like our show, our name is Monique Tuson. Okay? Just to clarify. All right? We just want to be
Kawawa
very
naman si
clear.
Monique.
Kawawa. Former friend natin yan.
Former friend.
And that's a wrap on our show this Wednesday, July 23. Stay safe, and thank you so much for joining us. I'm Paolo de Rosario. Remember, stay safe, stay dry, keep it cool, and take it easy.
I'm Asis-Carilo. Have a great day ahead despite the rain. Stay safe and always remember to choose joy, spread love and kindness, and pack your own sunshine. See you again tomorrow, 7 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. only here on
Beautiful Day!
Day!